Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome to Enough is Enough, Becoming Unapologetically You. I am your host, Coach Lachelle Ramirez, and this is my lovely co-host, the lovely Lady C.
Good afternoon, good peoples.
We welcome you on today. Today we're going to be talking about criticism and how to cope with it. But she's going to tell you our mission and our vision.
Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, if we have any gentlemen that's on here today, enough is enough. It's time to become unapologetically you, and knowing that you don't have to stay in the same shape that you're in, that there is greater in you if you just believe it. Our call to action, to be powerful and unapologetic you. I'm tongue twisted today. Our purpose is to share life experience, Bible truth, and to tell the enemy that enough is enough as we are and become unapologetic free in Christ Jesus, as he know us and who we know. Our goal is to be empowered, to motivate, to inspire, to encourage others from all walks of life, that Jesus saves and forgives new lives according to Romans 8:1. Our mission is to reach those who have gone through or going through similar situations as we have gone through, to show and let individuals know that it's okay and that we all have a past, and that we be delivered and set free.
Man. Ladies, see, we went through a lot of different things, and so we wanted to be able to people that it's okay. All have a past. God knows our past. He knows our story, but he still died for it. And he sent his son to die for us anyway. Although we had failures, and he, from the very beginning, he knows our very ending, and he still loves us. So this platform is just to inspire and to just let others know, no matter what your background, no matter what you have done, it does not matter. God still loves you. Jesus still loves you, and he died for you so that you can be set free. And so we're going to start it off with a story about criticism. So the story is about a man, a boy, and a donkey. The man, the boy, and a donkey was on their way to the market, and at first they were walking, and people were right by and said, "Oh my gosh, you idiots, you don't know how to use your donkey." And so the man thought to himself, okay, well, I'll put the lad on the donkey. So he put the boy on the donkey, and they continued to travel on. And as they kept on traveling up to the market, somebody else rides by. Oh, that poor old man, he's walking, and the lad on. Okay. And so after a while, somebody else came by, some older women. And they said, "Oh my gosh, that poor donkey." So the older gentleman said, "Oh my gosh, what should we do?" Because now the boy is walking, the older man is on the donkey. And so I went before myself. That poor boy. So he put the boy on the donkey with him, and then they started going up the road. Somebody else comes by and said, "Oh my gosh, that poor donkey. They're going to break that donkey's back." So the older gentleman, by the time they got to town, they were carrying the donkey because they had let people along the way criticize him. He was walking perfectly fine, him and his grandson, with the donkey to the side of them. Somebody criticized that. So the older gentleman put the boy on the donkey. Somebody came along, criticized that the older man was walking. So he took the young man off the donkey, and the older man got on the donkey. Somebody else comes along, criticized the older man because the lad is walking, and they don't know how to use the donkey. So they both ride the donkey, thinking that's how they're supposed to do. Somebody comes to criticize because these two people are on this donkey, and so the donkey is the one that's bearing the weight. And so they criticize that. So the moral of the story is, no matter what you do, people will criticize you, but criticism is necessary.
Right.
And so there are a lot of different words that mean criticism. You have observation, ratings, You let me go to commenting, telling you how I feel, critiques, judgments, opinions, my view. This is how I view you. A perception, a compliment, a praise, and so forth and so on. And sometimes when we're judging somebody or we're criticizing, we're giving them the perception that we see. Not saying that criticism is not needed, because we do need to be critiqued, because we need to know how to better ourselves, but there is a way.
Right.
So there's two words. You have a constructive criticism, and then you have destructive criticism. Constructive criticism will help you to be a better version of yourself. Constructive criticism is done in love. It's not done, just out of place. That's not how it's done.
Right.
So if I will look at the dictionary, the definition of criticism, constructive criticism is helpful. It is a way to give positive feedback on a specific thing, to make a person accountable for what it is that they're doing, to help push somebody into goals and to motivate them to keep going forward. Destructive criticism is negative feedback that harms, hurts, undermine, or offend one. And sometimes it is done just to discredit the other person that's doing all they could do and at the very best that they can.
Right.
So, way to critic show.
Yes.
Have you ever been criticized?
Oh, all the time. And one thing about that, when I was criticized, I had to look at myself. I have this thing that I do at church, and I always say, take a gut check of yourself before you can talk to anybody else. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I've learned when I was being criticized, I did a gut check of myself. So the person that was criticizing me, I had to look at myself and be like, is this me? Am I the woman that has a bad attitude? Am I stuck up? Am I this? Am I that? Everything that people were telling me. And some of the things I found out that it was true. So what I did was I fixed it. Now, some of the stuff people were just saying because they were really jealous of something I didn't even know that I had, but apparently they seen it in me. So what I do was, when I am criticized and it's a hurtful thing, it used to be a time where I would go hide in the closet or go in my room, cry about it and feel bad. But as I got mature and older, I took that as, hey, you're not who they say you are. You're not this person. And that's why it's so important to know yourself. It's important to know who you are and who you belong to. Because if you don't know who you are, you don't know who you belong to, you'll take on everything that someone gives you. Good, bad, ugly, sad, whatever it is. So you have to come to the concept to where you understand yourself. Am I really a mean person? Or are they saying I'm mean because they don't know how to talk to me? They don't know how to get on my level. And when I say get on my level, I'm not speaking as a level as I'm too high to be touched. A level as in understanding my background. So I have been criticized. And again, some of that and it helped come out of the thing I was in. Sometimes we're doing stuff and doing a walk that we don't understand that we're really doing it until somebody brings it to our attention.
Right. So the other question is, because I've been criticized before too. Like, how did it make you feel when like you said, you went in the back and cried? Like, so let's say you criticized helps me, or I believe that's your opinion.
Well, at the time I was criticizing people, it was because people were being negative to me. So I figured, okay, I got to be like the rest of the people. Well, you're talking bad at me, so to get the badness off of me, I'll talk bad about you to get it off of me. So, but once I knew better and I learned how to adjust my words. And it's all on, you can say the same exact thing, but it's how you say it. I can come to you and say, Michelle, that's a cute top, but I wouldn't have wore it with this skirt. But you're cute though. That's telling you, well, maybe next time I might need to switch it up. But if I'm a girl, I wouldn't have wore that. By the way, she is fabulous. She is killing the game today. But it's just the way you say stuff. And it makes you think like, okay, was she being rude about it or what? So I have been on the other side where I was criticizing to other people. It was because I wanted the light off of me. I figured if I talk bad about them, the team would get off me and go to them. But I was only hurting that person. And what made me come to the realization is you don't want that person to feel the same way you just feeling.
Exactly. with the questions, it's always, you have to take a look at yourself. Right. Because a lot of times we say, oh, people are criticizing us, or they're doing this or they're doing that. But you have to think, what have you said to somebody else? Because you're not the only person that's receiving criticism. Everybody faces criticism in this life, no matter what title they hold, no matter who they are, no matter the skin color, boy, girl, whatever. You will experience criticism. It's just the way life. We are humans. That's what we do. But the thing is there's no two people alike. We all have a different perception of something. Although we may come together to agree on something, we are still different individuals. And so the way you would perceive something may be different than how I perceive it. And so we have to understand that when you come to somebody, there's a right way and then there's a wrong way. And so the Bible verse that I picked out, you can read it if you want. But it's Proverbs 15:31. It's up in the comments up top. Proverbs 31-33. It says, whoever heeds life-giving correction will be home alone amongst the wise. Those who disregard discipline despite themselves, but the one who heeds correction. Wisdom instructs those to hear from the Lord, and it also creates humility. And sometimes we don't want nobody to say nothing to us. Let's be honest, because I don't want nobody to tell me nothing. Don't tell me my skirt too short, because this I know it's short when I put it on. So a lot of times we don't want to hear it because we already know some of the things that people are saying. Or you could do better. You could do this, just so forth and so on. And so sometimes we don't want to hear it. The most important thing when receiving criticism is how we react to it. If you react to the situation or to the criticism, you pretty much have given into what a person has wanted. If they're giving you destructive criticism, that's what the individual wants. They want to hurt you, they want to taunt you, and they want you to be at the bottom of the barrel. So if you give into a person that's giving you destructive criticism, then you just gave into what they want. If you're listening to the person that's giving you constructive criticism, you have to understand that will help you and shape you, mold you, and push you into what it is that God is calling you to be and what it is that you want to do in life. So I wrote out like 10 things to do. You got to check your mindset. When somebody's telling you something, check your mindset. You have to check your mindset, not them, but your mindset. Because when they're talking to you, are you listening? How is your emotions going to handle this? Because sometimes we don't listen. We're just ready to
off.
Yes. We're ready. We got it all in our mind. Like, how dare you say such and such? Are you serious? But you have to check your mindset. Are you really listening to what the person is saying? Because if you're not really listening, you're going to miss something. Are you trying to please that person? Or do you think that person is trying to please you? Because please people is doing what it is that we know we need to do for ourselves. Are they trying to build you up or tear you down? On how to become a better you. It's some little questions that you have to ask yourself. Does the criticism help you or does it not help you? Another thing is you have to limit the criticism that you accept. Because if you accept everything, you would be pretty
emotional damage.
Yeah, you'll be a little your mental state will not be all right. I remember asking a person, I told you about this. I asked somebody something because of coaching. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that thing. Because they say every life coach needs you to coach, right? And so I said, okay, I'm going to look at a person. I'm going to ask the person about being a coach. And I had to go over, why do you want me to be your life coach? So I did all that. You're a strong individual. You're a strong woman. You have great attributes. I believe I can learn from you, glean from you, whatever. And so we went through that. And then the individual said, well, I mean, if you want, I can, because for me, I was like, okay, maybe twice a month to check in, just make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm meeting my goals, giving me accountability. Okay. And so the person said, well, I can't do it twice a month. I can probably do it once, but it doesn't really matter if you want me to do it or not. Cause I mean, it doesn't matter to me because I'm really, really busy. So either you want my help or you don't, because I'm just really, really busy. And I was like, what? Okay, well, I understand you're busy. I'll take the one which there was already red flags because they say it doesn't really matter to me.
Right.
I want to matter when you're doing stuff. If
Exactly.
you're going to coach me, I want to matter to the coach because I'm the coach. You're my coach.
Right.
And if you're coming off saying, well, it doesn't really matter to me, that means I don't really matter. Yeah, I don't really matter. You got what you're doing, you don't care about to do. Right. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a try anyway. And so my first initial session, it was just straight talking, not me, that individual. So with coaching, the coach listens, and the coach helps guide you into what it is that you want to do. They give you tips. They listen to you and help you figure out what it is that you want to do for yourself. Right. Not the coach telling you what to do, so forth and so on. That's not how it works. But for most of my session, the individual was just talking. And I was like, yeah, I'm still here. And some things were said that was like, one of the things was said was, have you ever seen a black wealthy man growing up? And I thought about it. I was like, no, unless he was a drug dealer or he was on TV. And the individual said to me, well, that doesn't mean you have to date outside your race. Mind you, my husband is Puerto Rican. So I'm not dating, I'm married. And so that's what was said to me. And I was like, okay. Now, how does that help me?
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
I'm just saying, how does that comment help me? If I'm already married and my husband is Puerto Rican, how does that help me? So we really have to think before we speak. Because if I wasn't in my right mind, I probably would say, okay, honey, you're not black. I got to divorce you because that's not how it's supposed to go. Right. But I let it simmer. I did not speak quickly. I thought about it. I processed. I prayed about it. And then I came back when the session was time for again because it's once a month now. And I got the message or whatever. And I had to say, you know what? I don't think you're the right fit for me. I thank you so much for the opportunity, so forth and so on. I was not negative. I just thanked the individual and so forth and so on. So the individual writes back, believe that you're not ready and that you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. And I did not respond back negative. I said, thank you so much for your input. I will consider what you are saying. You heard what I said? What you are saying to me. Because if I never step out and do anything, I would never be ready. Right. I'm the type of person where I want everything. I's dotted, T's crossed. That's how I am. I'm very logical. I want it all to... You see my papers? I want it all down because I don't want to make mistakes. But it comes a time in your life where I want another individual think you should be doing. Because you telling me what you think may not be what's best for me. The individual did not understand that it took me 10 years to climb up out of a box. And so if I took what she had said, I would be back in the box. So you have to know, is it good for you or is it bad for you? Because you know who you are. Right. You live in your head every day. You know what will stop you. You know what will make you go. You know what will make you tick and what won't. So you have to know what's best for you. And a lot of time, us as entrepreneurs, we're being told, oh, you have to do this. You have to do this. Yes, I thank you for the information. Thank you for the advice. But what didn't work for you might work for me. Right. I have to take a chance. You have to take a chance. You have to be willing to take a chance. So people that may know you and they may see you every day, they may not see you every day and they want to give you helpful advice. So you have to, again, pause, process it, get your mindset right. Everybody's not trying to hurt you. Right. That individual gave me what they thought that I needed to hear. They gave me their opinion that told me I wasn't a whole 60% or 50 or wasn't always there. However it was said. But I did not let that stop me. Right. I think that for that critique, that destructive criticism, and I moved forward in what God had told me to do. That's what we're supposed to do.
And that's one of the reasons why I say it's so important to know who you have pouring into you and who you receiving your information from, because some people will just talk and they really don't have the knowledge behind their self to be giving out information. And again, like you said, had you not said, okay, that's enough, you probably would still be getting information from her this day and still be stagnated in what God has for you. Right. So again, that's why it's important, and I'm gonna say it again, do a gut check of yourself. Right. Know who you are and know who you belong to, because if you don't know who you are, you will be lost and you will fall for anything. And the songwriter say nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So if I'm listening to somebody that don't have nothing going on, then that means I'm not going to have anything going on. And every time I get around that person, all it's going to be is negativity. And for you know it, I'm negative, and everything that's coming my way that I should be doing, I'm gonna throw negative at it, and I won't be in the place where I need to be because it's just negative all around me. Right. So it's important to have the right people around you. It's important to take heed from those. Now, me personally, she better than me, because I'd have said, baby, this ain't. At the same time, and God let us know, when to hush, when to talk. So she did a good job by just saying, listen, this not gonna work.
And so that's where we at number 10. Take revenge. Don't take revenge. Okay? Don't take revenge. It is very important to not do tit for tat.
Right.
Tit for tat don't get you nowhere but in a hole. Right. You're doing tit for tat to make you feel bad because you done said something that you can't take back.
Right.
So do not do tit for tat. It said it is so important to embody tolerance and avoid any retaliation, even if you're being crucified emotionally by your critics or even the people that mentored you.
Oh God. You have to be careful about those too.
Okay, you hear me?
Because some of those that mentor you see the good in you, but don't want you to prosper because they're not where they should be. And they will keep you back, trying to hold you back because a little bit of jealousy has fell in. That's why I say it's important to know who's mentoring you, who's speaking life over you. There was a time I had itching ears. I wanted to hear from everybody. What you got to say about this? What you got to say about that? And as I look back over it, I had more negative than positive, because everybody was trying to tell me how to live my life with certain things that I was dealing with, only to find out that they're going through worse stuff than I'm going through. So how can you tell me that I shouldn't do this, but you're in the same predicament, if not even worse? So if I didn't have the mindset to say, no. Let me stop.
Right.
Check myself, regroup, find myself around somebody that's first. Find myself around somebody that's God, or that can help me come out of this, or help guide to the places that I need to be.
Right. Because it's crazy when you're doing back and forth, and it only really
makes you angry.
It makes the situation really worse, especially when you're calling yourself a child of God.
Right.
Another thing is, don't gossip.
Right.
Because a lot of times we'll find ourselves saying this about a person or that about a person, and you really see what you perceive versus what's really going on. Never judge a book by its cover. Everybody deserves a chance.
Right.
The same way God gave us a chance, God gave you a chance, that person deserves a chance too.
Right.
So, because people will tell you, oh, this is this and this and this. But it's up to you to say, you know what? I don't want to hear it. I'm going to judge this person based on how we interact.
Right.
Now, if I see something or something is said, then your best, what the Bible say, go to your sister and your brother.
Right.
You have an ought, go to them.
Right.
And tell them, hey, there's, is this true? Or, I see this, or, whatever. You talk to them, because a lot of times we'll crucify our sisters and our brothers.
And don't have the right or the standards to crucify nobody, because it's pulled off of us. Oh my.
Even if people lie on you.
Right.
That's not what you're supposed to do. I heard a person, but this past week I was telling you about, they said, the pastor was drinking alcohol. I was like, what? No, why would I say that? Does that look like what LaShawn would say from 5 years ago? Why would I bring that up from 5 years ago? Even if it was true. It's 5 years down the road. Why would I bring that up out of everything from 5 years ago? Why would I do?
Because people have to have something to talk about.
Say, yeah.
When they see that you're on a right and narrow track, and they see that you're doing good, and they don't know you're doing anything,
just credit
down. And if you fall victim to that and go backwards and forth with that person, it makes you look guilty.
Yep.
So if Coach Ramirez said, "Oh, I seen Crenshaw coming out the hotel room," and she run around Pensacola and tell Pensacola she seen me, and if I get all raw, then I'm making myself look guilty. Yeah. So I mean, it's best to just keep your mouth closed and let God fight your battle, because every battle is not for us to.
But to retaliate, you don't even have to go talk to the person. Pray about it. That's what I want to say. Pray about all things. Pray without ceasing.
Right.
Because,
and watch God.
Yeah, because a lot of times you know people, and so people that you know will say a lot of things that you're like, why would they do that to me?
Because they want to hurt you.
Because a lot of times, the enemy will whisper in somebody's ear. Because you're moving, they just say you're elevating, and sometimes a person is still stuck, and so they will see you versus gleaning from you. They envy you,
right?
And in your mind,
bring everybody with them to bring you down.
And like that don't even have to be that way, but and actually sometimes that's how the human mind works. It sucks, but that's what it is. You have to pay attention, remain objective, remain open to comments, feedback. And avoid interrupting the person while they're to you. Like if I, like you said, you was talking to me about my shirt. You like my shirt, you like my skirt or whatever. I have to be able to listen versus just jumping in and interrupting because I don't know how the conversation is going to go. She can be saying something positive, and I can just be ready to snap.
And not only that, you got to listen, because some people will say stuff in a joking manner, but they mean for real. And I've had to learn that when you're always joking about something and laughing about something, you're really trying to be sarcastic at the end of the day. And it's like, are they saying that just in a playful way, or did they really mean it? Because so you have to be mindful of stuff like that too.
My ex-husband, he told me, in every joke there's a little bit of truth. In every joke there's a little bit of truth. So it still is how will you react to it. Also, you ask questions. What do you mean by that? I ask questions a lot. I do. What does that mean? Why do you do it that way? So you ask questions. Are they going to tell you, oh, this is this and this? They break it down. Because again, we're human. We make mistakes. We say some things that we don't mean to say and we regret to say, but it's okay to ask questions. Some say that, but why do you feel this way about that situation? Why did you get that revelation? Why is your perception that way? Because a lot of times, based on where we lived, like our situations, what you call it? Oh my gosh, brain farts. where we've been brought up in, I can't think of the word right now, but the way we've been brought up from home life, from when you was a kid, has taught you how to think or how to perceive in a different way. Right. On your last job has and perceiving for your next job. Oh, I can't do it this way. This boss yells. So that gives you a perception of how your next boss might treat you, or the last relationship. So you have to be able to not take all that baggage with you, because everybody, like I said, everybody's different. Not two people are the same. We all perceive differently. Choose how you hear your feedback. Reframe from the way of feedback, the way you thought of others, which is what I just said. Come to a resolution. Once somebody has told you, hey, I believe that you can do it this way. This is a better way of doing this. Think about it, process it, and say, thank you so much. I accept that. That your idea is good. And even if what they're saying is not, thank you so much. The same way I told you about the lady. Thank you so much. I will take what you say in consideration. Right. And just dump it out. Just dump it out. Put it in the trash. Say, thank the person that was being very honest, being helpful, and being kind. If you have received some criticism that was delivered in a friendly and helpful way, say thank you. Everybody deserves a thank you every now and then. Right. We have to have a heart of gratitude when we talk to people. We have to have a heart of love and welcoming, because if we're always just don't nobody want to deal with you.
Right, and negative will come off of that
Don't nobody want to deal with you.
Because your body language can say a lot.
Yes, it do. Yes, it do.
And I'm that one that read faces and body language. I'm like, oh,
yeah, because I can't have my facial
it's not going to work.
Embrace the opportunity. That's a hard one. Embrace criticism. How do you embrace criticism?
That shows your maturity once you can. Now it takes a lot of growing up to embrace
it. That thing.
Yeah, it takes a lot. You have to be a big girl, as my mama say. Put your big girl drawers on. You got to be a big girl, because it's some things that's gonna come to you, and you're gonna be like, you just gotta bite your tongue. Like, okay, again, go back, check yourself, and be like, yeah. Now she was right. Now she shouldn't have said it like that, but she was right.
Yeah, because we're all different. So the way you say something will be different the way I say it. Because most definitely the way my husband says stuff will be different. He can be very he's like, dang, why you have to say it like that, hun?
I just look at Bishop and be like, oh, okay.
And he mean what he say, and he's like, well, I didn't say it in a such and such way. I'm like, babe, but
yes,
when
you did.
You got it, you did,
right?
And so the people are like, dang, you just hurt my little heart. Well, I needed to hear it, but he's very direct. I'm very direct, but the way I deliver versus the way he delivers is different. So you have to be able to learn people's characteristics. Like, again, everybody is not the same. The way you deal with something, the way somebody else deal with it is two different things. But we have to learn. Everybody is different.
Right.
Everybody is different, so we have to use our words and choose them carefully.
Without all the body language and face expressions.
Learn from your mistakes. Failing at something doesn't count you out.
Right.
When you fall, get back up, dust yourself off, and keep on going. It's important to recognize that you cannot learn anything new without practicing or making mistakes.
Right.
We all make mistakes. That's just a way of life.
And that's one of the things I also had to learn as far as being a preacher, because when I started out preaching, I would be scared to say stuff and do stuff because I grew up in a church where you got rebuked and they hate you openly, and that's a hurtful thing. Even though they were teaching you that for the good, but it was still hurtful because these are the same people you done praised God with, them probably went out and ate with, them cut up with, but now the overseer of the bishop done rebuked you in front of everybody. So when it came time for me to start preaching, when I got with my husband and doing stuff, I was scared to say stuff. I was scared to prophesy because I was scared I was going to. You won't understand and won't know the whole concept if you don't make a mistake. If you make a mistake, that's for me to help you. And I used to tell him, well, I don't want to be rebuked like overseer so-and-so rebuke this person. He said, no, it's a way of doing everything. That's what they did in the old days.
Yeah.
He said, everybody is different. Everybody teach and trains different. There will come a time I might have to rebuke you, but I'm doing it in love, and it's the way you do it.
Yeah.
So to get where I'm at now, I made a lot of mistakes in preaching. Because I am who I am. I am a raw preacher. I'm going to come straight down the middle, and I'm going to tell you what thus says the Lord. I don't sugarcoat. I'm not going to use big words because I'm not that preacher. Like, I'm coming straight down the middle because somebody had to come straight down the middle at me. So in the beginning, it was like boom, 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 not knowing I was really running people off instead of bringing them in.
That's how I was when people would say, God don't want your dirty money. Okay, well, I didn't ask you.
Right.
I put it in there. If you don't want it, you can give it back to me. I ain't never received a dime back yet.
Right.
But you're saying stuff, not understanding how I sat at the bar, crying, walking in and out, coming in, going out, because I did not know how to trust God. And I truly believe that we as leaders have to understand how to speak to people, how to preach the word of God, which goes right over here to these fruits of the spirit.
Yep.
Gentleness, patience, control, kindness, faithfulness, goodness, loving, peace, and love is kind. Love
Right.
it does not record it truth, it protects, it trusts, it hopes, preserve, and there is no failure in love. So if you're coming at a person out of how you feel and how somebody did you, you're just as bad as that other person. And so when I said, God, I'm gonna do what you need me to do, but I want you to know this. You gotta just be real with God. I said, God, I want you to know this. I don't want to preach the way the people preach to me.
Like the old days.
I don't want to do that. I'm gonna preach. I'm gonna tell you what the Bible say. Don't get it twisted. But I'm not gonna preach and say you a whore.
Right.
I ain't gonna preach and say you this or you that, because 9 times out of 10 you already know what you are.
Right.
You don't need me to come across the pulpit with that. You need to hear God still love you. God will deliver you. You're not lost. You have value. You're worth. You're beautiful. You're unique. And this is what draws people in. Because a lot of times people don't even want to come to church no more because the way we preach and stuff.
Right. Because what happened back in 1949 don't work. You go and they liable to come back to the church with a gun and ready to kill you and all that good stuff. But again, we have to be lovers of God's people regardless of what they done, because truth be told, if you want to get into it, I know we're talking about criticism, but I can take this a whole nother way, and I feel like preaching now, but I'm gonna wait to Sunday. But truth be told, a lot of people that's preaching the gospel and coming at them raw, if you really sit back and just be a fly on their wall, you be like, you preach this hard, but you're doing that.
Because a lot of times we say one thing and we're doing something
a whole other
different.
thing. Right.
And so that's why I said we have to be careful what we say, unless you fall off in that ditch too.
Because God will pull you right out of it to show everybody just who you were.
And I
the very person that you criticized.
That actually has happened. I was criticized over. Left, went to Texas, came back. What happened?
The Lord pulled the sheets. He said, give me that.
I was like, what happened? Like, what's going on? I was so oblivious to what was going on. Because you talk and you talk and you talk and you talk, and you forget that you're human too.
Right.
That stuff will happen to you too. So that's why it's just vital to choose your word. If you don't like a person, pray for them.
Right.
You feel like it's the person, pray for them. You ain't got nothing nice to say, shut your mouth.
Right.
And go pray. Shut your mouth, go pray. You ain't always got to have the last word. You ain't always got to talk about somebody. You ain't always got to be up in somebody else's face. You don't have to have a clique or entourage.
Right.
You ain't always got to have somebody on your bandwagon to tell you about sister so-and-so, brother so-and-so, and find out what they doing. You want to know what somebody doing, go ask them.
Right. And truth be told, the same one people they talk. That's very important. I'm gonna keep saying it throughout the whole podcast. It's very important who you have around you and who you got putting stuff in your spirit.
And so Miss Ruth says some people will act as the victim once you
expose. Yes, I just recently, about a year ago, had that. One was always coming back telling me what somebody said, and I would always say, well, why they feel so comfortable talking about me and we supposed? I'm just not understanding. And then when I say, I tell you what, the next time somebody brings you something about me, I'm gonna get that person, I'm gonna get you, and we all gonna sit down. I stop hearing it.
I cut people off.
I do too. I'm so quick to say,
do it.
If I smell the bad that bad,
and
I don't need negativity.
First thing, I'm like, you're the only person I talk to from this organization, and I've done it, and people deal my heart. You're the only person I talk to, and when we're talking, we're not talking about that.
Right.
So where did that come from? Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't do that. And that's backstabbers right there.
Right.
So that is most definitely a topic.
And people that blow with the wind, they with you today, but when they around that person, they with them some dangerous people to be around.
Definitely another topic. And so remind yourself that criticism doesn't reflect your worth. You on how
Right.
It's tough not to take criticism personally, but we have to remind ourselves not to take it personally, but to take it in love as we grow. Um, and just make sure we're just like, again, our mindset is ready to receive what somebody else is saying, because if you want somebody to listen to you, you have to be able to listen to somebody else. It works both ways.
Right.
The four agreements is to be applicable with your words, speak with integrity. So only say what you mean and mean what you say. Avoid using the word that will speak against you or somebody else. You have power in your word. The Bible tells us that there's power in your tongue. Be careful what you say. Be careful how you use your tongue. Because your words can be direct truth in love, but it also
can a person
be dangerous.
Down. Yeah,
it can be dangerous. A fire thing.
I can't build you up and tear you down at the same time.
that little bitty thing can really hurt somebody. Don't take everything personal. I was that person. Every time somebody said something to me, I was like, well, dog, why they gotta say it like that? Well, why I gotta be that way, and so forth and so on. But I had to learn. Don't take everything personal. Sometimes people will say something, but that's who they are. That's how they communicate. Nothing others do is usually because of you. Sometimes it's because of them, because we have to take responsibility for our own actions. What I say is what I say. What you say is what you say. So you have to take responsibility of what you say, and I have to take responsibility on what I say. That's just how it is.
Right.
So you can't come in, oh, you made me do it. No, I didn't. You take responsibility for you. I'm going to take responsibility for me.
Right.
Don't make assumptions.
We bad at that.
Go ahead.
We bad at that. We bad at that. You said apples, but she said peaches. She meant peaches. No, that's not what she meant. What she meant was you beautiful, but you don't have to show everybody that you're beautiful. Oh, she jealous of me. Oh, it's just she don't like what I wear. We quick to jump. We quick to something, and it's not even that serious. If we just take heed and listen, as the woman of God said, listen before you just assume stuff. Listen before you just pop off. Right. Listen before you just start downloading stuff. You know, sometimes people will say stuff, and I notice myself when some people tell me something, I be like, I have to go home and really process that for a day or two. Like, did she mean it like this? Did she mean it like that? Was it really like this? I have to take it all and take it apart, dissect it, and then apply it to me. Because if I don't, I would get the wrong feed of it, and then I will have a negative vibe to this person that's trying to help me, and the very one that's really trying to help will shun away because of what we think they said, and it really wasn't all that to be. So we have to be careful with that. I did it. I bet I was bad at it until just going in and just talking with God. It's like, don't take everything personal. Right. Sometimes a person has a bad day, and so they lash out at another person. Sometimes people are dealing with themselves, so it's easier for them to deflect and put it off on you. So it's all good. Don't take it personal. I used to have a person who used to tell me, you ugly. And I'd be like... and it to it long enough, you'll start feeling like that. Am I ugly? Is that or you'll do the opposite and try to do more to make yourself look good, only for that same individual to come back and tell you you're ugly. As the bishop preached last Sunday, he said 99 people can tell you beautiful. You look good. But that one person can come up and say, I wouldn't have wore that. It'll tell your whole day down. The whole thing. People would say, you're sad. No, I don't feel sad. I feel happy. Right. Am I sad? And then all day long you'll be walking around with a lemon face. Sad? Yeah, so don't let, if you're feeling a type of way, you know you walked out the in the mirror. Makeup on, makeup off, baby, I'm beautiful. You check yourself like 3-4 times in the mirror, and then somebody tell you you look a hot mess, you second guessing yourself. Know your worth. Let's go back. Know your worth. You're beautiful. Don't nobody got to tell you to tell yourself that you're beautiful. Right. You're enough. You have value. I like me. Right.
So you have to speak to yourself. And sometimes we tear ourselves down too really bad.
Yeah.
We'll tell ourselves that I don't got this. My nose too big. My eye look, this eye little, that eye big.
Mm-hmm.
And you're speaking negativity to your own self.
Right.
Stop that. You're beautiful. God created us. Beautiful. Beautiful. Don't tell you're beautiful.
Honey,
I'm more than enough.
I tell them every day,
I'm
even going to work, knowing I'm in work clothes. Girl, you beautiful. You sharp today. No makeup, no nothing. But you got it, girl. Get it.
Yeah, you gotta tell yourself that, because if you're just waiting on somebody else to tell you that
You'll
minute,
always be in the slump.
and if that one, like you said, that one person else say,
and that boldness kicking in. She don't look good and say, girl, I thought I was good, looking good today. And get that devil out your face. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Baby, when I stepped out this morning, I thought I was sharp, but okay. To each his own. God bless you.
Right. Have a nice day.
Right.
I ain't gonna change my voice up like Bishop did. Always do your best. Always do your best. If you're doing your best, hey, you in there. Right. You good. You can't don't compare yourself to what somebody else's best is. Your best is your best. Every day is not gonna be Sunday. That's what I was always told. Sure. You ain't gonna always have a rainbow on this day. Some days gonna be cloudy, but every day do your best. Moments change from moment to moment, situation to situation. It's how you apply the situation to your life. It's how you interact with those situations. So do your best. Mm-hmm. And if you guys got questions, this is the time.
We have Mama Fillmore online today. God bless you, woman of God. Sister Sharon, my sister Ava, God bless you. Miss Ruth, God bless you, ladies, for joining with us.
Hello, Mrs. Micaiah.
Hi, cousin Micaiah. She was looking gorgeous for her birthday this weekend.
Sister Tasha, hello. So yes, do you have questions? Go ahead. We got a few minutes to answer questions. I hope you guys were encouraged today. I really, really hope you were encouraged to accept criticism, but no and criticism, because there is a difference. Mm-hmm. Also, remember that you won't have to accept everybody's criticism. You can be selective, because everybody's not going to tell you what you need to hear or what you want to hear. But you got to understand that there will be some no's and there will be some yeses. Mm-hmm. Because if you never hear any no's, you're in trouble.
Okay.
You in trouble. So it's good to have that constructive criticism. It's good to hear a no sometimes. Mm-hmm. Can't have no yes person, because if I had a yes person around me, ooh, child, be jacked up, toe up.
Yes.
And I don't want no yes person. Tell me the truth.
Tell me the truth, but tell me respect.
Yes. Tell me the truth, but tell me in a manner that you know I'm going to receive it. Because, sir, like, you can tell me one way. My husband can tell me one way. And another person can tell me another way. But they know who I am, because our relationships are different, mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm. So the way I say it to you, I make not like
right.
She do. She be like, wait a minute, you know. But that's just who I am, to show everybody love. I said whatever came to my mind, but I thank God.
It takes time. And once you learn it, when you have to literally sit there and think about all the times you have been hurt, the way people say stuff to you and how you felt, that's one of the things that will really make you say, okay, I can't be this person because it hurt me when somebody did me. Like, once you get that down in your soul, you'll change the way you talk to people. You'll change the way how you criticize people. You'll change the way how you help people. Because I'm telling you, if you don't like to be hurt and you know what it felt like for somebody to hurt, you'll stop being there.
There's no questions. I don't see. Oh, somebody said something.
My sister said, I thank God for my sister telling me the truth, even though it hurts, only to help me. Yes. And I mean, well, that's my baby. I love her to death. We cut up all the time. Mm-hmm. We don't talk every day like we used to, but that's my baby. And she'll tell me some stuff. She don't know this, but she done told me some stuff. And I'm like, did my sister just say that? I have to get off the phone and process it. But if I was not mature, I would take what she say and be like, I ain't talking to her for a week. She said it. But when you're mature enough to take what somebody say and apply it to you when you know it's right. Now, it's one thing if I'm just talking out of my head just to be talking, but for me to actually sit there and have a conversation with you and you know that I need to change, or I know this is the wrong way, or I need to deviate and go this way, that's a whole different level. So I love talking to different people.
Okay, so I know we're getting ready to close, but I have a question, because you say a maturity thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about the people that have not matured?
They're going to forever give you that rah-rah. And it's going to be hard until they really understand who they are. That's the biggest thing. You got to understand that it takes me not living like I used to live, thinking like I used to, and until they make up in their mind to change, that it won't be no change. I can talk to you blue in the face. I can tell you the same thing over and over, but until you are willing to change, it's not going to be no change. I can just be talking to you. And those type of people, when I see you coming, I just go the other way.
You said what?
I just go over. I'm just gonna be real. We are being unapologetic and we're being real. And for those of you that's on here that know me, if I gotta keep talking to you blue in the face, I'm just gonna pray and say, Lord. And I'm gonna call my sister out because I love her. She know I call her out even in preaching. If Sister Sharon won't get, I be like, oh, there goes Sister Sharon. I ain't coming. God bless you, Sister Sharon, and keep it moving. But you have to be mature. And until you get mature, you're going to keep going around the same circle.
Yes, that part. And then what you have the people that's not mature that don't care if they cut you or not.
I won't say run from them, but
because they need love too.
Right. But that's where you have to be like, I know she coming with something crazy. So you got to hear but not hear. I can come to you and be negative.
Okay, so for me, I'm trying to see, because I would kind of, even though they won't hear, right? Mm-hmm. But it comes a time when you have to just sit that person down and say, hey, let me talk to you. This is how your criticism is coming off. Mm-hmm. And I may have to distance myself from you. Mm-hmm. Because what you're saying to me really hurts my feelings. Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, if they're not mature and if they're very vindictive, if they're very destructive, they still ain't gonna hear you. Right. But the fact of the matter is that you have let them know your words hurt, and I'm not gonna deal with that. You have to stand up for yourself. I'm not gonna take that from you anymore. Right. And so when you do that, just know the person may not receive it, but you have the prerogative who you allow in your bubble, in your mental state. You can't let everybody in. Guard your gates. Right. So that's what I would say on that. And again, I don't see any more questions. Maybe just my side is really okay. So we think. Oh, please, hearts, likes, shares, tags.
They might wasn't on tonight, but they can come back because somebody needs to hear it. Somebody's doing a lot of criticism. To talk to people.
Oh yeah, at the end of our segment, we always take the time to offer you Christ. We're not forcing Jesus. Right. I believe Jesus is my Lord and Savior. You may something else. But at the end of our segments, we always take our time to offer you Jesus Christ, to come into your heart, to come into your home, and into your mind, to change the way you view things, because he is love. And sometimes we go through this life and we feel unlovable. Right. When Christ comes in your heart, he will fill your heart up to where you know that, my God, this is really what love feels like. When I was coming out, I was like, I didn't know what love was. But when Christ came in, he really, really changed my heart. So we are saved by grace through faith. Not by what we have done, but by the blood of the Lamb. And so you are well. Christ.
One thing I like to say, also don't want to cut you off. I like to say is he's not waiting to get perfect. He wants you just where you are.
Where you are.
He didn't wait on us to get perfect to be where we're at. He got us right in the midst of our ugliness, our shameness, and for a moment that what you have done or what you've been in that is that hard that you can't be loved, that you can't be saved and delivered by God. Because if he can do it for us, and trust,
he can do it
for those of you that know us and have read the books and heard our testimony, if he can do it for us, he definitely can do it for you.
Amen. And so that's why it's called Enough is Enough, becoming unapologetically you. Hey, we're not perfect. Every day we're striving to better than we was yesterday. And so I give God the glory for allowing us to see another day. I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you when we see you. As always, find the positivity that lies within the negativity, because there is some.
We love you guys. Have a blessed day.